What up, fam? As you can see, I'm here in downtown Santa Ana Civic Center. Apparently, an incident occurred. I'm not sure what, but the police and others are around um, interviewing. This is a very interesting time, to be honest, because, for those of you who have, been doing your research or that are involved in this whole tragic reality of negative entities and the jinn and their children um, harassing people and trying to steal the world from us. This is a rare opportunity to actually get real close and comfortable. Yes, they set up their own little security guards. Their gang is around, as you can see, the police officers, doing their fakey down here. Um, not Just to also mention, I am under some type of attack, which generally is the case. Um, it's been the way it's been going lately is that they've been saying a lot of stuff like, "Oh, black women love white men, so I should just give up," things like that. And basically, I basically say, "Where's the proof in anything you say?" And I just say, "Where's the proof? Provide any proof, anything." Any possible proof of of the things that you say. Substantiate it in some way. Just don't say it. If you expect me to believe it, provide any type of proof. Um, but no, that's never going to happen because it's not true. They're liars. They live in the lie. They are damned. The Walking Dead, so to speak. And they've been doing some nasty things as of late. Anyway, so this is a rare opportunity to get closer to the negative entities because, if you've ever watched the news, or been a part of that whole propaganda, a lot of these people are part of the same bloodlines, or they're clones, or they're working for the enemy. Um, a lot of them are the enemy. And so this is a rare opportunity for them to reach out and touch you. And that's basically what they're doing here today, I'm sure. So, because yesterday there was, a nice spiritual event that happened when I was here. I'm not saying that was all that nice. They tend to attack nonstop anyway. And so I shut them down, or we shut them down, shut their freaking mouths up, um, you know. And that's always, I wouldn't say, it's kind of tragic, personally, that has to happen. Um, but for those of you who are understanding or overstanding, they say, we're in a spiritual war. And so these creatures that are basically like zombies, the Walking Dead, want your souls to help them reanimate themselves. And they have multiple plans going on, but they want you. And so anytime that we get a victory of shutting them down and their abilities to cause harm to our bodies and to our minds and to our souls is a very good thing, because that means that we are in the space of a universal grand creator. We're in that space because that's the space that you need, that is required to defeat them. Because they are all up in your face, and they know what's at stake. They are fully aware of what's at stake here. The attacks are calming down. The energy draining is starting to calm down as well, which I find very interesting. As soon as you get them on camera. So they've been fighting with me as of late because it's basically it's a discussion of the nature of the beast. And for those of you who have been in the clutches of them, when it comes to mind control, when it comes to fucking up your life, when it comes to gang stalking, electronic harassment, parasitic and negative entity harassment, manipulating everything around you, and then people energy draining, sucking your energy, implanting nasty negative emotions into you, hitting you with microwave beams, etc., etc., etc. And then just the general lack of concern or care for the original inhabitants, or those who have been gifted this place. is appalling. It's scary. It's strange. It's appalling. Um, and we have to move through it. We've been given the opportunity in the bodies by the universal to get past all this. However, this is what I've experienced. Even though we are able to physically get past it, they are unable to get past the reality. They are unable to accept truth, which I find quite amusing. And I'm not saying any of this is set up for me. I'm just saying that they work in interesting ways, and so I'm sure they've tried to figure out a way to infiltrate and to attack and to hurt those who are trying to help this planet and trying to help others experience the true essence of life. And they want none of it, again, because they're the walking dead. And so their whole goal is to steal people's souls, steal their energy, and incorporate it into themselves so that they can live, even though essentially because they're dead and completely cut off from the universal. I've done research into why, and some people have said that it's their original sin that they committed. They are the children of the jinn, and when you think of it that way, the jinn are disconnected from the universal. So how in the world could they create life? Instead, they created death. They didn't create life. They created death. And they did that through genetic manipulation. And as you know already, it's already been implemented into our society, these geneticists. And I'm sure they've been doing experimentation on a great many of the population over hundreds, if not thousands of years, trying to get the right sauce, the right slave. And, just like the money system, the dollar sign is basically a snake behind bars. Or I don't know the exact terminology, but it's definitely a whip or a snake. And it signifies your enslavement to that God entity, which, and money is basically demon magic. It's a form of magic with sigils, and they have demonic signs on it, etc., so that you can basically be beholden to their gods. And I should have taken video, but I have taken video of Sundays, usually when they show up in their churches. There's probably one of them right there. They show up in their churches. They show up preaching that they're about their Jesus and whoever else. They're the people who they can't prove and that ever existed, and are basically lies in order to confuse and to disorient and change, physically and mentally the true essence of what worship is and the people. It really, and again, even in Catholicism, you can see how they always are trying to put something in between your ability to communicate with the greatest one. And it's done in so many levels. It's hard. It's you really have to do your research and understanding how. But one of the ways is that they microchip babies, and so through this microchipping, they're able to figure out when the babies or when the children or people start to reach some type of spiritual awakening, and when they're growing and becoming better as a people. When they're starting to grow and become, starting to communicate on a spiritual plane, they have ways to counter that. They have ways to show that that's happening, and basically an early warning system. And they will warn each other, so that if it's basically keep it from happening. And so they will do their best to keep you from spiritually accessing that part of your brain, unlocking your DNA, your chromosomes, and basically becoming a better person in general. It's very systematic. It's very disrespectful to the greatest one who helped us understand, is there in nature and is created us so that we could understand each other better, so that we can live our lives and become better. They have basically, done a great job at trying to cut off our ability to discover who we truly are as a species, as people on this planet. And they do it through their guns. They do it through their police. They do it through, and it's sad because they're trying to make it about something that it's not truly. When you see this whole Black Lives Matter and Police Lives Matter and all lives matter, and but when you research and realize that most of the people are Nazis. They're part of the Masonic Brotherhood. They all communicate with each other. They're a gang. They drug push. They conduct surveillance. They do experimentation on the public. They lie and cheat. They create laws that are unjust. Just the actions, their actions alone are a huge freaking cacophony of lies. And regardless of what they say, it's what has actually been done, that is appalling, and has shown that they have no concern for our livelihood and their death. And that's all they want us to do is die. And they want to take over our bodies and basically treat us like slaves. That's what's been going on lately. It's a daily thing, every single day. It's nasty and horrible, and you have to record. You have to make a recording of what these people are and what they do, because they are not here to help us. So anyone who has to deal with this on a regular basis, like I do, every morning, every night, it's a constant thing. They are out to get me in any way they can. If they can arrest me, they will try. It doesn't matter. And so a great majority of the time, it's sucking out my energy, or trying to make me angry, or just trying to disrupt your ability to connect and raise your vibration in any possible way. And so, unfortunately, they get kids when they're young, and so that's just to think about the mentality of a being, an entity that would attack children, babies, when they're born. There are people who say that you can't leave the hospital without your baby having a birth certificate. Okay, without being indoctrinated in some way into the system immediately. Does that sound like you're free? If you can't, they will arrest the parents of a baby if they try to leave a hospital after they've had a baby without the baby being imprinted some way. Okay? So, the time for our awakening is upon us, I think. Those of us who are in the know, stay the fuck away from them. Even if they come up to you, even if they attack you or run after you like zombies, stay away from them and defend yourself and be smart about it. Pray that one day we all will experience the greatest one and rejoice and praise together. I think that time will come, and all this will be worth it because we'll be free. And amen, brothers and sisters.